Okay, let's see what we have now. So this is the absorber. Remove this by cutting it. So this is called a twin tube shock absorber. Okay, simply because it got two hollow tubes. One, you have the inner hollow tube, which is the working chamber, and the outer hollow tube, which is also known as the reserve chamber. Okay, so the outer hollow tube will be normally pre-filled by nitrogen gas during the manufacturing process. However, for the inner hollow tube will be filled with hydraulic fluid. So this is the piston rod. Now this piston rod is connected to a rebound stopper, and here you will have the piston valve unit. So this piston valve unit now is secured by a nut. Now let's open up this. So once the screw is out, now there are some certain important elements here we are taking out together. Alright, so these elements consist of a lot of washer, one washer, then you will have a small one, a very thin cap. Okay, so that is a thin cap. Then you will have identical two flat washers, followed by slightly bigger diameter, and then we have this bush. I believe this is made of a certain material. This is not steel. Okay, so we have this bush, and then below the bush now, then we will have this membrane. Okay, you can see for okay. And then followed by that, you will have another membrane which is different in the geometry, and finally you will have a weird looking washer. For the base valve unit, you can just simply hit here, because this can come out. Okay, so this is the base valve unit. So in order to open this is size 12 and size 10. So let us just clamp it here. So for the base valve unit, right, we will have the screw. We will have a thin washer, then you will have a thick washer. Following to that, you will have a thin membrane. Okay, then you will have the base unit valve itself, right? And you can take out the screw. When you take out the screw, so nothing much is happening. You will have you will have two washers, and we will have the screw. So this is the assembly for the base valve unit. This hollow tube now, which is the working chamber, okay, you have some sort of fixture at the bottom. This is known as the base valve unit, and this base valve unit will allow the hydraulic from the primary chamber to exit to the secondary chamber, which is outside of the shock, which is pre-filled with nitrogen gas. So when this shaft plays, okay, it's going to push the hydraulic through this piston valve unit. In other words, the hydraulic now will basically occupy the reservoir chamber, which is the inner section of this, so that the nitrogen gas will be compressed. Okay, so the nitrogen gas is there basically to avoid any sort of atmospheric air inside this damping system. So you will avoid things like foaming. When this is continuously in operation, there is something known as foaming in the hydraulic. You will have a lot of fine bubbles. Okay, so in order to prevent that, it is normally pre-filled with appropriate nitrogen pressure. Nitrogen gas also helps to make the rebound smooth and to avoid any sort of corrosion or any cavities inside. Okay guys, so now we will do a complete tear down for the Mazda CX5. Okay, rear absorbers. Okay, so these are independent single shock absorbers. Okay, so they do not come with the coil. Okay, they are just independent like this. Obviously you have the dust cover here, which I've already removed it. So this is the the dust cover, right? I've already removed it. So if you can see, if I compress, it's rather easy to press and the rebound is quite slow. Okay, and you can see there's also some sort of oil, meaning which is already leaking. You can see it's all wet. So let's just knock out this part. So we have knocked out completely the stopper, right? So as you can see, similar to the front absorber, you also have a seal. I think I'm just going to cut here, right? This is also a twin tube shock absorber, because you can see you have the first shell and then you got a second shell. Okay, the working principle is going to be the same. If I press this down, you will see oil coming out. Can you see that? So the base valve unit is basically taking out the oil or the hydraulic to the secondary chamber, which is also pre-filled with nitrogen gas. Obviously when I cut, the hydrogen gas have already escaped. Having said so, this is the this is the bottom dead center, this is the top dead center. So the piston have already reached below. Similar working principle. Okay, however, now the rebound stopper is rather very small. This piston valve unit, and then we will have the shell of it and base valve unit. Let's open up this. So this has been opened. Okay, so this is just a hollow tube, completely a hollow tube. So there is nothing much we can do here. This mechanism is all locked. So this basically sits here. So let's open up this nut. So we have the size 13 nut. Okay, then we have one thick washer followed by a thin plate. Oh, there's another small one here. Okay, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Then you will get the bush out. Okay, so this is basically the piston valve unit. Okay, so this will be here, then followed by you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So this is the assembly for the piston valve unit.